Probably a pretty big gamble, but you sort of had to stick with him. He was going so
Yeah,
well.
I mean, at that point of the game, it was kind of on the line. I thought anyway. Just we were, I think, might have been down around 10 at the time or something, and I just figured, you try that for a little bit and see what happens. And he was playing really well, Doug, and it was like, we saved him for what, right? And fortunately, he was able to last it.
When you get your guys like scrambling, running around, trapping, doubling, is it just tell them just go crazy because you figure it out there? Like they just play on their own kind of pace.
Well, I think we certainly had some energy left at the end, right? The way we were moving, again, you're just trying to get them into something that changes the rhythm of the game. And they were in great rhythm. They were really carving us to pieces, and we got them. We got them out of their sets, and then as we've seen with that press and stuff before, is once you get one, not now they're really they look shaky quickly, right? And it's not just them. You've seen us do it, right? We've been pressed and we'll give one up, and all of a sudden it turns into three really quick. But again, it takes you out of your offense and whatever. But the play of the night though really was, well, obviously that last possession, right, where I think like 29 seconds long, I think, right, and they had it the whole time until we got out of there. But we had decided to blitz the next Brogdon pick and roll about, I don't know how many, 150 earlier, and we were pre-rotating to Sabonis on that, and they remembered to do it, which I mean, after all that stuff that was going on, and they did it, and Sabonis kind of got stuck right there at the beginning. And I mean, when Brogdon came off that thing and let go of it, I was like, perfect. I thought maybe we'd steal that, but we were there, and then we froze him, and then kind of got back, and Oladipo got a pretty good look there at the end, but still we were, you said, flying around pretty good.
Sort of a strange game for Pascal, but he came through at the end there on both ends of the floor. What did you make of the way he was able to kind of stay with it?
Well, that's what he did. He stayed in there. I think he wasn't getting to very balanced shots in there. He was getting to some great positions. There was like one really weird one. I think he got to about 2 feet and shot at about 6 all the way over the basket to the other side. And it was like he made a really good move, and for some reason his balance was being affected, I thought, pretty much early in the game. And then he just decided to start coming downhill at him, and he'd go for it once, and then he'd slam on the brakes and kick it out once, and he'd go for it. So he made great reads again, and he's really this is I don't know, third, fourth close game we've had where he's delivered scoring or passing down the stretch. And of course, those guys have made shots.
Certain ability to make passes, but like tonight he had 3 really neat assists.
Yep.
He never has that passing skill. So where is that coming from?
Well, he's getting better, Doug. I think again he's been forced into this heavy minutes with Smart being out a lot this year. He's been given a lot more reps, and he's just, I think he works on it. He takes the time to work on his ball handling and his passing. And I think just the reps over and over is giving him the time to see things better. He's been really good as far as just more than, they're way more than just pick, pop, shoot, that guy, which he kind of, he's rolling, he's dunking, he's driving, he's kicking out a little bit, which is good.
You don't design them like this, but this team seems to know how to pace itself through a game, what each game requires. Is that something that they've just learned, or is that the intelligence of this team? What is that?
I don't think as a coach you're encouraging pacing through much of anything, right? You're trying to go out there and win each possession and the ball goes up. So I don't really know how to answer that. I guess that, and we've said this before here during this win streak, we haven't played great all the time, but we keep finding a way. That's a heck of a characteristic to have. And tonight we were very good, and they were very good. I give them credit. They were awesome. They were cutting and flying and moving and hustling and guarding and physical and all the things you can be. And they were trying to knock us out. We wouldn't quite go away, and luckily we hung in there and put one on.
It's been a few close fourths now where OT hasn't played down the stretch for obvious reasons.
Yep.
how would you assess his play right now, and what's your level of confidence?
Yeah, you know what, I think, I would say this, Eric, I thought he played great in the second half. I thought he was really physical and was guarding. We had to put him on Sabonis some, and he was forcing catches out further away from the post, and he was working out there. You know, I think that, the 18 in the second and 48 in the first half, I just felt like the spacing, we needed some spacing, and it's not like he's not a great shooter, but I think the threat of Terrence out there tonight, you know, a lot of times it's Norm. The threat of Terrence just giving Pascal and Serge and those guys a little more, and Kyle, a little more room to operate in the paint was the reason. But I thought OG played hard and really tough in the second half. I just about put him in because I thought his defense was worthy of going back in, but the offensive spacing is really what I was concerned about tonight.
So
Yeah, on that.
overall, there's no real concern from you over his play recently?
I mean, listen, Eric, I think that, you know, I've said this a couple of weeks ago maybe, but I need to find a spot for him where the ball seems to find him a little bit more. I'd like him to get some more reps out there, whatever it is, if it's catch and shoots, if it's drives, if it's bringing it in transition or whatever. I would like to get him reps, because again, you know, what did he have tonight? 1 attempt. He's just not gonna get much better if he's only getting 1 or 3 or 5 attempts for us. So, again, I think that maybe he fits, he starts the game, comes back, you know, I've been trying to get him out early and bring him back and get him to roll with the second unit a little bit, and somehow we gotta get the ball to find him a little bit more, because we need his defense, man. We need his rebounding. We need his cuts and back cuts and dunks and things like that. We need to keep him going here.
Sabonis was playing so well, and towards the late in the third, you had Pascal or OG at center. I mean, that seems counterintuitive, but it worked so well. What did that lineup give you, and how did you trust those guys?
Yeah, well, it gave us a couple things. I just thought it was a pretty physical matchup for Chris to handle, so we went smaller, and it gave us a chance to switch a little bit more too, and end up with instead of Chris or Serge or somebody to have to guard Brogdon on a switch. You know, we had Pascal or OG up there that maybe could keep in front of him, or whoever the guard was, you know, out there. And, you know, it's one of those things too. I don't love it, right? I don't love it because, you know, we haven't done that much, but you roll with it, you see what happens, and it was good in the game. It kind of turned the game back. I think we crawled back, you know, from a big deficit to get back in the game with that. So we were, you know, just like always, something works, we let it roll for a little while.
Pascal's screen setting and rolling has never been his greatest offensive strength, but have you seen improvement when he is playing center like tonight?
He's been effective on that. It's just another way to get him involved and get him the ball. I think with the skill of Fred and Kyle coming off those things, and even Terrence, I would say that they got to be up. They got to be up, and if we'll screen them, that means the big's got to be up for a moment. And there's an opportunity for the pocket or the roll, and again, anything we can do to get Pascal the ball heading downhill with some force, it's pretty good. And you just don't see it as much because a lot of teams will switch 1 through 4, right? And there's some teams that don't, and when we get to the teams that don't, you'll see us go to Pascal, and then we usually try to save some of that stuff till late as well.
You're talking about Serge's passing. Is that kind of an example of player development, not just being limited to young players?
Well, I would say so. I think that, again, you guys know how I rave about Serge's work ethic on the off days and stuff, and I give him all the credit in the world, man. He's really serious about continuing to improve. He's knows his role, understands our offense and how he can fit in it, how he knew what he had to do to get a little bit better within our offense and as a teammate. And he's done that thing. He's done it. And again, to me, it's like super fitting that he hit that shot, because he's tweaked it a little bit and worked on it. And tonight was like the first night in a long time where he was coming up short a little bit, one after another. And you know, we talked about it at a timeout. And said, finish one, get your weight, you know, whatever, a couple of mechanic things, and he did, or he deserved it because he's been working his tail off at his shooting.
Thanks, everybody.